Have you seen that? What's the documentary on Netflix?
Little People
about killing the cats.
No, I haven't.
Oh, I've seen it.
Insane.
What's it about?
He ends up killing people. But it's this guy who kills cats, and then he ends up killing people.
Well, that's
and
how it
this
always
Facebook
goes.
group finds him.
The face. Whoa.
It was like a detective Facebook group.
Is this a real story?
It's real, 100% real. It was in Canada.
Oh my! Well,
I remember
the Canadians. They'll do that shit.
He was like
a
closeted.
Don't fuck
gay
with cats,
model.
right?
He was like a closeted gay male model. He made 100 fan accounts for himself.
Yeah.
Wait. He was like really insecure about himself.
So
he
was closeting the modeling, or was he
He was a closeted homosexual,
and he was
he
modeling
had a lot of
straight
internal struggles. He was male modeling, I think.
Wow.
A non-successful male model.
Okay, so
he would go. He'd spend all day creating Facebook accounts to join his own fan group and create all this discussion talking about how hot he was.
Wait a minute. There was somebody in the reptile community that did the same thing.
Yeah, well, she actually created.
I swear to God,
she created.
Check this out.
Different accounts to argue with herself.
Yeah,
so she would argue with herself, and then she would prove that she could win the argument against herself in a different account. And what happened was a mod for this Facebook group outed her and said, "Hey, listen, I know this is you, so you either come clean or I'm going to release the transcripts." With your IP addresses. So she came clean, but what was interesting is she came clean on Twitter, like this whole I've got mental issues and stuff like that. And listen, I do too. I have mental issues, so God bless you. But
I can attest.
But then she came out with all this stuff on Twitter, and then the next day deleted it all and just went about her way like it never happened.
Wow.
And everyone just kind of let her off the hook, like that was a.
Is she and we don't have to say her name. Is she a big reptile influencer?
No, she's actually more of a YouTuber, right? She doesn't have a lot of animals, and it's not just reptiles either. But I mean, I've talked to her since, and I think she's got her head together, and she seems to be normal now, And I think maybe she was in kind of an abusive situation and just kind of lost her mind a little bit. But nevertheless, that happens. It's like, and have you ever noticed that? At least for me, and like you said, I mean, I get 1,000 comments or so a day I'll get on a YouTube video. Literally, there's 5 bad comments.
Right.
So it's overwhelmingly positive. And it is funny because Tiffany, the mod that's not here, that super chatted, that she's my pit bull. She'll rip you up. She will attack anyone that says something bad about me. But I always notice that it's an account that doesn't have an icon. It's just like the green dot. And there's no activity on the account.
Or it'll be a picture of like a reptile, not of themselves. They'll be anonymous. It's a weird nickname. They're sad people.
It's crazy that it's funny because obviously Noah, you've only been in this 2 months, but it seems like your community is really nice.
Well, unless okay. So can I say this?
Yes,
I can say this that they are. Especially when I got in.
You're talking the stand-up comedy community.
At least in Metro Detroit, okay? So when I got here, the open mic scene, it was nice. Nobody knew who I was. They just knew my name was Noah, right? And I grew the mustache, even secure that. And
secured the mustache.
Yeah, and after about
only one.
a month, I started like getting people on the podcast and stuff, and then they were like, "Oh, this guy's not just random Noah who likes stand up. He's got this fucking zoo and all the fucking bullshit that comes along with it."
I think last night the one guy said the reptile mafia. Yeah,
exactly. So like, now it could just be people are being fake nice, right? Because they're like, "Oh, this guy may have something,"
or it could be a little of both. Who knows? I mean, the way comedy works is you need your hook. It's a lot of. I do this for you, you do this for me, at least in LA. Well,
LA is its own beast. That's everything is like that.
From my perspective, overall, everyone's pretty nice.
I agree.
In comedy, there's definitely shit talking. If I'm on a road trip with comedians in a car, all we do is talk shit about other comedians. That guy's hacky. That guy sucks. That person did this.
And you're talking about like good comedians too. Like we're not talking about open micers.
It's all the way to the top. I have been in the car, not to brag or anything, but with major headliners, theater acts, people who make millions of dollars a year doing comedy, and they're still talking shit about some other comedian.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
So it never ends. It never ends.
So that's the thing. So obviously, just to set the table here, I mean, like I said, you've toured all over the world. I mean, you've toured a lot with.
I've toured all over the world. My first time touring, I went with Pauly Shore.
Oh my gosh, really?
You guys know him? Yeah.
Yeah,
so
of course.
No.
The Comedy Store, right?
Yeah, his mom and dad started the Comedy Store.
That's crazy.
Now his brothers own it and run it. But yeah, so my first time touring was on the road with Pauly.
Wow. How is he?
That's got to be wild.
He is normal when you know his upbringing, because Pauly was raised at the Comedy Store since he was a kid, which is a loony bin of a place.
Have you ever played?
All the time, yeah. I was a door guy there for 5 years.
Get
so
out
I worked
of here.
minimum wage at the door for 5 years at the Comedy Store. But to give you a background, his babysitters was Sam Kinison.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! That's
Nothing could go
David
wrong with
Letterman, Robin Williams, like all these legends who were also lunatics doing cocaine and binge drinking. Were the people raising Pauly. So when you take that into account, and the fact that even his own mom, who ran the Comedy Store, was also doing drugs and hooking up with comics and running a nightclub. His dad was touring the country doing stand-up. His dad was a comedian. Wow. When you take all that into account, he's surprisingly normal. That being said, he's a strange guy. He's a strange guy, but he's always been good to me.
Well, you know, it's crazy because I mean, he really was big, like in the 80s and early 90s, right?
Pauly, in the 90s was, I'd say, his heyday when he was
he just was
movie star.
He was like doing like huge, like 30,000 people venues and stuff like that.
Yeah, big theaters. He was in Encino Man, Biodome. I have
and that could
most people are too young to even remember. But
when I was a kid, from my perspective, I didn't even know he did comedy. I just knew movies.
Yeah,
like I would just watch
definitely.
movies.
And he was an MTV VJ.
Yeah. So many people I discovered, like the other day I figured out Ray Romano. He's a stand-up.
Yeah,
I just like knew him from TV and shit, like, and of course I could have connected the dots, never did, because I'm just
that's how he got Everyone Loves Raymond. He did a late night set on, I forget which late night, Johnny Carson or David Letterman, one of those, I forget which one, and he killed his set so hard that the production company said, hey, we want to do a show around you. That's how he got from doing a 5-minute set on TV. And that's how it used to be in the comedy game. That was everyone's goal as a comedian.
It was get a late
night set, you do 5 minutes, and then someone's going to offer you a TV show.
Especially because wasn't it like Carson was like the original, right? Like,
Johnny
I mean,
Carson.
that's what launched most of the guys from the Comedy Store, right?
Johnny Carson. That was the dream. Get on Carson.
Get on Carson, and you got yourself $1 million deal the next day, you know?
Now the dream, get on Joe Rogan. Get on Ryan's podcast.
Here you're not going to get much, you know?
You may get one.
And by the way, we will put all the links into our stuff. You also do a great podcast, Unfiltered Therapy.
Unlicensed Therapy.
Unlicensed Therapy, I'm sorry.
And it's not like, we don't do it live. Like, this is scary, going on live like this.
You got to be careful of the bad words,
Yeah, or bad words.
You can swear, but just not
saying something a little
it's
too naughty.
color.
It's liberating.
Well, listen, we don't mind the naughty side. And I remember you said that when we went to the theater, when we went to go see you and Theo, the first thing you came out to the audience was, by the way, great tickets, unbelievable, like 3 rows back. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I saw you guys from the stage. I could see.
You know who we're sitting next to?
Who?
Daddy Longneck.
He was there.
He was
You know who
right
else
by
was
my
there?
side.
He wasn't near you guys, but Blake Griffin was there that night too.
Get out of here, really? Yeah,
because he was on the Pistons at the time.
At the time,
fuck that
He used to. Yeah,
he's so cool, dude.
Dude, I bet he is.
Guy?
Such a nice, funny guy.
Really?
That night, I feel weird like saying celebrity names. It feels like I'm bragging.
No, you're not.
But
it
doesn't happen to me all the time. But that night, after the show, I got to hang out with you guys, which to me was honestly, I was more excited to meet you guys than anyone else. I mean that. Like,
wow.
I'm around famous people at the Comedy Store all the time. I never ask for pictures. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, right.
But when I saw you, I was like, hey, can I get a picture with you? Because I watch your YouTube.
That means
adorable.
Well, no, I appreciate you, dude. That's so awesome, man. And it's but yeah, so Griffin was there. That's crazy.
So that night after the show, we went to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
We went it was me, Theo,
Yeah.
Blake Griffin, Chris D'Elia, and Craig Conan.
What?
At a table.
A line.
And I was just sitting at this table, and obviously the restaurant was hooking us up with whatever we wanted, gave it to us for free. I felt like such a cool dude, even though no one knew who I was, but I was still at this table with rock stars.
It's like, hey, there's the agent for all these guys is sitting with them, or something. That's what they thought you were the agent.
Yeah, definitely. They thought I was their assistant.
Exactly. No, that is a table right there. Of course, we ended up getting a quick meet with Chris D'Elia.
That's right.
You hooked us up on that too.
Yeah, we finagled that shit.
Yeah. Well, Ari is the one that hooked it up.
You did?
Yeah, Ari hooked it up.
I got you guys so I'm friends with Chris a little bit, but more his opener, Michael Enochi.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, I got these guys, get them in.
Yeah.
Easy.
He seemed. I felt bad. I'm not going to lie to you because
I did too.
He seemed like I think we might have like
interrupted his fapping.
Yeah,
time.
he was trying to I think hook up with some chicks. And it's like, oh shit.
And then a year later, no, he was definitely trying to.
So he was kind of like, oh yeah, I got to take you back to see Chris. Fuck, I got these girls over here that are so I felt bad.
Yeah, but you guys get it. I'm sure you were in and out and chill and.
It was super quick.
You guys aren't the type that would linger and bother someone.
No, I mean, we literally were there for 3 minutes.
Yeah,
I mean, it was like, hey, let's take a picture. Goodbye. See ya.
Felt the vibe.
Yeah, and so it was.
He's a pretty nice dude. You guys are nice. I'm sure it was all great.
And I'm just like you. I mean, I on a different level, obviously, with different things. We've been around celebrities our whole life, you know, and I don't really ever think about like taking a picture with anybody, hardly ever, you know. I mean, every now I want to think like obviously Bob Irwin, Steve Irwin's dad, like he's that way to me. Like I get around him and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know.
Jack Hanna.
Steve Irwin's dad's still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive. Yep, he's probably 70. Last time I saw him, of course, was about 3 years ago. He was 72.
And
so
now
he's
the
about
grandson's kind of filling in that role too.
Yeah, I think he's kind of doing that. Unfortunately, there's a kind of pretty big rift in that family.
Oh, really?
So his
there's all these animal rifts.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know about the
The
riffs.
Tiger Zoo rifts.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
so much stuff.
Yeah, they're doing on the Australia
Animal
Zoo. But yeah,
drama.
no, Terry kicked. So Bob started the zoo, right? With Steve. And Steve always
And that's
said.
in
That's
Brisbane?
It's outside of Brisbane. It's about
Yeah.
2.5 hours
Right.
and called Barraroo.
I was in Brisbane. I wanted to go to that zoo so bad. We
it's
ended up
so
going
good.
to the smaller one in Brisbane because we didn't have time to make it out there. But
yeah, it's
we
about
gotta go
it's
back.
about 2.5, 3 hours away. It's Barraroo, and dude, you got to go. It's one of the best zoos I've. It's just beautiful. It's an amazing zoo. I've been there a bunch of times, and it's just great to like. I never met Steve. I know almost all the other animal guys on TV, almost every one of them. But it was a bummer. I just never met Steve. Like as I was coming up. You know, he was, you know, he passed away. So that was like one of my wishes in life was to meet him. And then since I've kind of met all the guys and we've become friends. But
they should have done what they do with the popes with his body.
Like just put it on display?
Yeah, put it on display so we could all meet him.
They would. It's a crime that they didn't do that.
Yeah, you're right.
Cryogenically freeze him, maybe bring him back one day.
I think you could.
Pretty cool.
I think you are getting.
They did that with Ted Williams, the baseball player.
Oh yeah,
his body is cryogenically frozen.
Get out of here! Really? Is that true or is that just made up?
That's what I heard.
I believe it.
I mean, I haven't seen the body.
No.
I haven't seen the body, but that's what I heard.
Ted Williams?
Ted Williams, baseball player, cryogenically.
Can't we just believe something?
No, I want to believe
I'd
it.
like to find out. Because I've been saying this a lot lately. So
Okay.
You and why.
It's part of his act.
Jesus.
Let's
see.
Is he frozen? I don't see. Let's see. Arizona Beach. No, it's like frozen.
Body sent to Scottsdale, Arizona to be frozen at Alcor
well, there you go.
Cryonics facility.
Damn. Ari's not only funny, he's full of knowledge.
full of shit. If not something up. No.
Shit and knowledge.
But what the hell are you gonna be? You're frozen. What are we going to create that brings him back to life?
Well, if one day we can maybe take his brain or download his brain into a cyborg type of thing or whatever, I think that's, you know.
Okay, but he's not going to be back.
Well, he might, his consciousness might, but we don't know.
Where's the,
I guess,
where's the conscious
We're all
live?
too stupid to know what's going to happen.
You're right.
Yes.
But one day, some genius is going to cure death.
Yes.
And they're going to sew up his body where the thorn went in his heart or whatever happened.
Yeah, Steve.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Steve.
Yeah.
And they're gonna bring him back.
I think they made a movie.
They
I think they made a movie about that. It's called Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it didn't work out that well, to be honest with you.
Damn, son.
Can we rail this in?